Hello and welcome. This is Pragadivan and you're watching Voice News Network. Here are the top stories for today. US President Joe Biden has confirmed that the leader of the Islamic State group, Abu Ibrahim al-Hashimi al-Qurayshi, has been killed in an overnight US Special Forces raid in northwest Syria. Biden says that the death of Qurayshi had removed a major terrorist threat to the world. Qurayshi detonated a bomb that killed himself and members of his own family in a final act of desperate cowardice, says Biden. Syrian first responders say that they found the bodies of 13 people after the raid. The operation targeted a two-story residential building on the outskirts of the opposition-held town of Atme, which is in northern Idlib province and is close to the border with Turkey. The region is a stronghold of jihadist groups that are fierce rivals of ISIS, as well as Turkish-backed rebel factions fighting the Syrian government. The World Health Organization's Europe Director, Dr. Hans Kluge, says that the continent could soon enter a long period of tranquility in the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Kluge cited high vaccination rates, the end of winter, and the less severe nature of the Omicron variant. This comes as a number of European nations end COVID-19 restrictions. Dr. Kluge says that some 12 million new virus cases were detected across Europe last week, the highest recorded. But officials have not seen a significant spike in those needing critical hospital care. In addition to this, Denmark became the first nation in the European Union to lift all rules, including the wearing of face masks, earlier this week. Russia has reacted to the United States' decision to send extra troops to Europe to support its allies amid continuing fears of Russian invasion of Ukraine. Moscow says that it was a destructive step which heightened tension and reduced the scope for a political solution. This week, the Pentagon reported that 2,000 US troops would be sent from North Carolina to Poland and Germany, and a further 1,000 already in Germany would go to Romania. Russia had some 100,000 troops already deployed near Ukraine. However, the country denies planning any kind of invasion. The tensions come 8 years after Russia annexed Ukraine's southern Crimea Peninsula and backed a bloody rebellion in the eastern Donbas region. NASA has announced that the International Space Center will continue working until 2030 before plunging into the Pacific Ocean in early 2031. In a report released this week, the US Space Agency says that ISS will crash into a part of the ocean known as Point Nemo. This is the point furthest from land on planet Earth, also known as the spacecraft cemetery. Many old satellites and other space debris have crashed there, including the Russian space station Mir in 2001. NASA says that in future, space activities close to Earth will be led by the commercial sector. The ISS, a joint project involving 5 space agencies, has been in orbit since 1998 and has been continuously crewed since 2000. More than 3,000 research investigations have taken place in its microgravity laboratory. New Zealand has announced a phased reopening of its borders as the country starts to ease some of the world's toughest COVID-19 restrictions. Vaccinated citizens in Australia can go home from 27th February without needing to undergo state mandatory hotel quarantine. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern says that the vaccinated citizens elsewhere will be allowed from 13th March. People will still have to self-isolate for 10 days but can do so at home. The announcement comes after growing criticism of Wellington's controversial closed border policy to keep out the coronavirus. New Zealand's borders have been shut for nearly 2 years due to the pandemic. In that period, the country of 5 million people has recorded just 53 deaths and about 17,000 COVID cases, which is a very low number compared to the rest of the world. Australian billionaire Andrew Forrest has filed a criminal case against Facebook, alleging the company failed to prevent scam ads that used his image. Forrest argues Facebook breached Australian anti-money laundering laws over the spread of cryptocurrency coins. The scams use his image and those of other celebrities to promote bogus investments that promise riches. Although Facebook bans such ads, many still appear on the platform. Forrest says that it was the first time Facebook was facing a criminal case globally. The case will be heard in the Magistrates Court of Western Australia from March 28th. If it is successful, Facebook could face fines or be forced to change its advertising. Dr. Forrest has also filed a civil lawsuit in US state of California, where Facebook is headquartered. Last year, Facebook launched its ambitious project called Metaverse with much fanfare, but looks like it didn't favor the company as expected by founder Mark Zuckerberg. For the first time in its 18-year history, Facebook has lost its daily users, failing by about 500,000 users in the last 3 months of 2021 to 1.93 billion logging in each day. The loss was greatest in Africa and Latin America, suggesting that the company's product is saturated globally. The Facebook parent plunged 22% in early US trading on the back of poor earning results, putting it on track to erase about $195 billion. At current levels, this is the biggest collapse in market value for any US company. But there is no certainty that the losses will hold, considering the volatility across technological share markets. Canada's Rachel Homan and John Morris captured their first mixed doubles curling win at Winter Olympics 2022 in Beijing. The Ottawa duo bounced back from a loss to world champions Great Britain with a 7-6 victory over Pyeongchang 2018 bronze medalist Christian Scullion and Magnus Nedregotten of Norway. Homan, who shot 85% in the round-robin win, didn't have to throw Canada's last rock with the win secured after a Norway miss. Norway took a 2-0 lead in the first end, but Canada was able to double that in the second with Homan and Morris's best end in Beijing so far. One person is dead after a collision on the Gardiner Expressway near Royal York Road on Thursday morning. Toronto Police Constable Laura Brabant says that a vehicle travelling westbound collided with a flatbed truck around 9:23 a.m. One person was pronounced dead at the scene. All westbound lanes of the Gardiner have been blocked and vehicles are exiting at Park Lawn. Police are appealing to anyone with information or dashcam footage of the collision to contact them. Ontario is reporting 75 new deaths related to COVID-19 on Thursday as the province's top doctor is set to hold a briefing in the afternoon. It is going to be his first appearance since public health restrictions began to ease this week. The Ministry of Health says that as of Wednesday, there were 2,797 people with COVID-19 in the province's hospitals. That's down from 2,939 the day before and 3,645 at the same time last week. About 56% of those patients were admitted for COVID-19 related illnesses, while 44% were already in hospital when they tested positive for the virus. The number of patients with COVID-19 in intensive care units is also on the decline. There were 541 patients with COVID-19 who required intensive care, and they are down to 555 the day before and 599 the same time last week. And that is it in today's bulletin. Thanks for watching.